Good morning. Thank you for being here. Just two quick announcements before we get started. The first one is when we get to the question and answer session, we're going to have a couple of wireless microphones in among you, so please wait until one of those microphones gets to you before you ask your question so that the folks watching and listening can hear what your question is. The second announcement is that we'll have a couple of players, KU players, Jake Love and Michael Cummings, available to you in the Chancellor's Lounge after the press conference is over. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Chancellor of the University of Kansas, Bernadette Gray Little. Dr. Little.
Good morning. First, I want to thank the search committee for the many hours that they put into this thorough process and for the great outcome. I had an opportunity last week to speak with Coach Beaty, and as a result of that conversation, I know that he believes that our students and athletes deserve great teachers and great coaches, and football is no exception to that. I also believe that he has the energy and the values and the skills to bring pride and performance to our football program. So I want to say welcome to Coach Beaty, or welcome back. We are delighted that you are here. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you for coming today. We announced the hiring of David Beaty as our head football coach late Friday afternoon. As we went through this search process, we had several advantages that we have not had at times in the past. Time, Chuck Ninus, and a search committee. As we wove through the expected ebbs and flows of this search, knowing the incredible importance of this hire to the entire Jayhawk community, our primary goal was for a moment or moments of clarity. We were searching for an individual of high character who had led and would lead young men through periods of intense transition and competition that face all college football players today. As you might expect, for someone whose offensive and defensive philosophies fit the Big 12 Conference, two qualities that quickly rose to the top of our list. Number one, fit with the University of Kansas, both internally and externally. Number two, the ability to recruit the Big 12 region. We were looking for someone who carried himself confidently, yet with a humble nature. Someone who valued substance over style. Someone who would undersell and overproduce. And finally, just work hard. What we found in David Beaty is not only someone who exhibits these qualities, but is also a highly respected teacher, coach, recruiter, and colleague in the football fraternity. He's a man that has established relationships at all levels in the Big 12 footprint. We also found an individual who is part of an emerging niche within college football today. He established himself early as a successful head high school coach in the state of Texas and successfully transitioned into the college ranks. Having served in various positions and roles on multiple staffs, he is no stranger to the University of Kansas. As we migrated through our list of candidates and continued to seek clarity, the committee reached a consensus. End the search and go get David Beaty. As one committee member so aptly put it, I would fight with some coaches. I would fight for David Beaty. Many disciplines in academia today study leadership, and we often hear them refer to specific leaders as having it or the it factor. I believe that what we've found in our next head coach at the University of Kansas is a man who has it with a capital I. Your head coach, David Beaty.
Thank you, Chancellor, and thank you, Dr. Zinger, for that introduction. I am honored to be back here as the head coach of the University of Kansas Jayhawks. It's a great day for me and my family. Before we get started, I want to take just a second to thank some of the key leaders at the university, some of which are the most impressive people that I've encountered in my career. First, I want to start with our Chancellor, Bernadette Gray Little. Her leadership is unparalleled, and thank you for your time. Our AD, Dr. Cheyenne Zinger, who has done a tremendous job as we went through this search, and certainly the search committee, who did a very thorough job and did a very professional job as they conducted this search. My condolences to them. I also want to thank our fans, the students, and the supporters here at the University of Kansas. It is those people who made me understand when we were here before what a great place this is, and it's a big reason why we're back here today. This next part's always tough for me, but I'm going to get through it pretty quick. I want to thank my family, my wife of 18 years, Rainey, and my two beautiful daughters, Avery and Alexa. And I thought there was something interesting. One of my colleagues here asked Alexa what her favorite thing over the last 2 days was, and she said, the weight room. She liked that hill over there. Spoken like a true coach's daughter. So I love you guys and thank you for your support. Listen, this is a great day because this is about the University of Kansas. It's about the community of Lawrence and the great state of Kansas. The University of Kansas is one of the greatest universities in the country. The people here are very passionate, and we have a shared value with that, with regard to me and my family. One of the things I love about this place is that hard work and humility is a minimum expectation, and that is something we identify with. You know, there's a lot of things about this place that captured me when we first got here, but one of the things that always sticks out in my mind is going to any KU sporting event, and when the game is basically imminent with the win, the victory is imminent, you get to hear that low building rock chalk Jayhawk chant. I can assure you folks, I've been to some of the finest venues in the country, dare say in the world, and there's not much out there that captures you like that moment, and that here at the University of Kansas, and I'm proud to be back here and be a part of that. Kansas, the university, the students here deserve a successful football program, and we have a plan in place for that. The foundation of our plans are going to rest squarely on a couple of different concepts: hard work and earning everything. We're going to earn the support of our students, our fans, the high school coaches of this great state, from east to west, north to south, and the recruits in this great state. We're going to earn them one person at a time, one relationship at a time. That segues me really easily into the area of recruiting and the lifeblood of any program, and getting the right guys to your place, surrounding your team with the right guys. The way we'll do that is through the usage of our relationships. Our philosophy is very simple. We think it's a relationship business. Our relationships that we have already developed with high school coaches of this state, this great state, and in states other areas that we will recruit are going to be key pieces to our success, and we're going to enlist those men's help. We also want to do a good job of keeping the best players in the state of Kansas right here at home at their university. That is top priority for us. And we do that by building relationships not only with them, but with their coaches and their parents and the families and the fans. We want to develop a walk-on program because we only get so many scholarships a year. And there's a lot of guys out there in the state of Texas that want to be a part of their great program. And that walk-on program can be powerful. We want it to be the most powerful walk-on program in the country. And that's a goal of ours, and we want to open the doors to more than just 25 a year of the great athletes that there are here in the state of Kansas. We truly want this to become a Kansas identity football team. Now, we're going to recruit other areas. We're going to hit the states of Texas. We're going to hit the states of Oklahoma. We're going to hit the states of Missouri. But this will be make no mistake, it'll be a Kansas identity football team. In addition to that, with recruiting, one of the biggest things that we have to do here, and I have an advantage here because I was a high school football coach and I respect those guys so much because you don't get to choose your players there. You got to develop them. And this is a player development business. And for us, that's key and paramount. It's one of the things that we'll hang our hats on is the development of players. And how do we do that? Very simply. we've got to bring a staff here, and we will bring a staff here that is second to none in the country. Not only men that can teach, but men that can recruit and develop relationships and produce productive citizens off the field and in the future. I will tell you this, that pool is small. Guys that can do one or the other, it's pretty big. But the pool of people that can do both teach and recruit, it's small. And relationships are the key to getting those men to come here. And I'm happy about the guys that we're going to be able to add to our staff. Those guys got to be able to bring out the potential of our players. And they've got to be able to build the players that help us create the proud program that we want. One of the most important hires that I'll make here is the leader of our strength and conditioning program. That program is going to be based on 3 very simple things: hard work, discipline, and accountability. Every day. Every day, every way. I got to quit looking at my daughters. And let's talk about football for just a second. Hey, listen, I'm excited about the direction we're going in. Let's talk about something that's really fun for me to talk about, which is what we want to put on that field. We want to bring you something that you can be proud of. And we're going to do that by bringing a couple of different styles here. Offensively, let's talk about that. Real easy, fast-paced, up-tempo offense that places high pressure on defenses. Things that don't allow them to communicate with their coaches at the sideline. It's going to attract top recruits, and it's going to be an exciting brand of football that's going to make people want to come to Memorial Stadium. We're going to employ an attacking defense. I'm very fortunate to be able to have kept Clint Bowen here with us as our defensive coordinator. Guy is one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country. The things I love about him, the characteristics when I think about his defense, when I talk about people across the country, the terms that come out are a defense that is aggressive, that wreaks havoc, and confuses offenses. And a defense that creates takeaways. A defense that steals possessions. And that's what we got to do to be successful here. And I'm excited about him being here with us. And then last, but certainly not least, and will certainly become first, is the hidden third of special teams. We're going to create an advantage in this area that our opponents simply may not have by overemphasizing and outworking people in this third. We're going to win that third, and I'm excited about bringing a very aggressive style to University of Kansas with regard to special teams. I'll close with just a couple of different comments. The goal is very simple. It's to bring you a program, the state of Texas, the university, everybody involved with the University of Kansas, a program that they can be proud of. A journey of 1,000 steps begins, 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And that's what I'm ready to do, and I can't wait to get started. I'll finish with this. We are so excited to be here. Kansas feels like home. And I will promise you this. We will sacrifice everything, including sleep, to bring you a program you can be proud of. I'll be ready to take some questions at this point. I thought it was going to be easy there for a second. Okay, Matt? Yes, sir.
I was just wondering the thought process when you decided to take this. How much time did you have to spend thinking about if this was the right move? Obviously, you're very excited, but
Right.
Did you have to spend time kind of debating that or obviously talking with your family too, or not much?
To answer your question very, very directly, it didn't take much time at all. And the reason it didn't is because we have an absolute genuine love for this program. When I talked with the members of the committee and I talked with Dr. Zinger, I made it very clear that while I wanted to be the head football coach here, that we love this university, and the first and foremost thing that we want is for it to be successful. So my goal and my comment was, choose the right guy. Choose the right guy. And we are humbled to be here, Matt. And I'll tell you this, it took us no time because we absolutely love this place. The community is great. My wife and kids absolutely love it here. And we have friends. We have a lot of different relationships that are already developed. So to answer your question, it didn't take long at all.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
over this way.
Okay.
Welcome back to Kansas. I'm Michael Coleman, KCTV5 Sports.
Thank you.
Having history with KU, talk about what I think would have to be a built-in advantage to returning in the position you're in now.
I think you're right. You know, one of the things that will help us, obviously, is understanding the environment that is the University of Kansas. I think that puts you ahead. There's no doubt about that. So my familiarity, I certainly am at an advantage right now because I know a lot of the people in this room. It feels like a reunion. I'm looking around and seeing all the faces here, and I can't wait to get over there and shake some of their hands. I haven't seen them in a long time. So, but I also understand how the university works, and I think sometimes that may be one of the biggest challenges for coaches is just getting the lay of the land and understanding how things go. And in addition to that, I'm familiar with a lot of kids on the roster. You know, Jake Love and Michael Cummings are sitting here today, and you're not going to hear me talk a whole lot more after this. I want it to be about them, these guys that sacrifice each and every day. This program is about our state, and it's about our players. And I have a familiarity with those guys, and I think that is another thing that might give us a little bit of an advantage moving forward. But at the end of the day, it's about her hard work and earning. So we're looking forward to getting started.
Hey, David Dodd from the Kansas City Star. You talked about having Clint on the staff. Can you just talk about how that worked and your conversations with him? And was that even part of the interview process? Did that come up during your interview?
Well, it wasn't part of the interview process, but I want to say this first, is my respect for Clint Bowen is unparalleled. He is one of the finest defensive minds in this country. I will tell you this, that he is very sought after throughout this country, and for great reasons, because he is a tremendous football mind, and he's of unbelievable value to us in this university for what he brings. But in addition to that, he's a very dear friend. I've been on the staff with him before. Our families have been very close friends for a long time. We've spent time on vacations together, and it's a familiarity that helps put us and give us a little bit more of an advantage even than what I talked about before. Not only do I believe in what he does, I believe in his production, and I've seen with my own eyes what he's capable of doing, and he was a key piece to us moving forward here and being able to achieve what we wanted to achieve. I hope that answers your question. Yes, sir.
Coach, here in the Big 12, we have a couple of recent examples of how programs can get turned around and become national contenders, national players in TCU and Baylor, and obviously before that, Kansas State for a number of years now. Are there lessons to be learned from those schools doing what Kansas would like to achieve, or do you hold them out as goals or reminders that this is a realistic process that you guys can go through here?
Absolutely, and that's a very good point. I think what you're seeing with some of the resurgence of some of those programs is a very similar blueprint. You're talking about men that have great relationships with high school coaches, not only in the state of Texas, but in the surrounding states adjacent to the areas where they actually reside. And I think that's a big deal. I mean, you're seeing a growing trend in college football of former high school football coaches who are having and finding success at the Division I level. And one of the reasons that is because we, and I say we humbly as a member of that fraternity, we have an understanding and a relationship built with those men that we understand that they are some of the finest coaches in the country and that they have to develop. And those relationships are there, and they have an affiliation, and we want to help them and they want to help us. So for us, we strive to be like those programs. And that's one reason that I'm really excited about being here, is because we have some really good friends out there that want to see us do well here, and I'm looking forward to calling on those relationships. Hi, Tom.
Hi.
How you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
Third time. Hadel, Janes, Cromwell, Riggins, and a number of the other all-time greats came from Kansas. It seems like today those caliber players are going to Oklahoma, Nebraska. How realistic is it to think that you can get the cream of the Kansas crop?
Well, first of all, I want to just talk a second about those men. One of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure that we understand our history, that we're standing on the shoulders of giants here. And you just mentioned them by name. The men that their name is in that ring of honor, our kids first have to understand where we've been to know where we're going and who built this place, and that all of us are responsible in that regard. I think one of the things that will help us with regard to attracting those type of players is the type of coaches that we bring in here and their relationships and their evaluation ability. I think that's very important. With this day and age, there's a ton of really good players out there. The thing that we have to do a great job of, not unlike some of the schools in our conference that have done a good job of resurging in their programs, is evaluating and finding the right players and developing them. It's been my experience in the past that it doesn't matter what type of player that you bring, he still needs development. He still needs discipline, structure, and development. So I think that's going to be the big thing. And, I said it a little bit earlier. One of the biggest things for us, Tom, honestly, is we got to find the right guys. And we want to make sure that we don't settle for anything less than guys that fit the Kansas way. That's first and foremost for us. We want to create a team of successful men. That way we can help those people that come into our program that might need a little bit of extra help. Once we've got that team built, we're able to help those that really need that help, and we're able to make good decisions when we decide who we're taking. Does that help you? Dave, there you go.
Dave Scretto with the AP. I wonder if you could just take us through what the next couple of weeks will be like in terms of hiring a staff, a timeline for that, and also you have a few days left to try to recruit and what that's going to be like.
Well, first of all, the last few days have been definitely an experience. My phone has been, I don't know if it's working anymore, to be honest with you. But the next few days, they'll be a great challenge, but man, I'm looking forward to it. A lot of the time will be spent on settling staff, all right? And I will tell you that, we're not in any hurry there. The key is the right men, not men, but the right people to get here to help our men achieve what they want. So that's going to be of utmost importance. But really, my focus when I leave here today is focused on going out and doing a great job of identifying the men that we got to close this class out with, the men that are going to help us create that program that we talked about, something that we can be proud of. And that's going to be a process that we got to get going here, because we only got a week until it ends. It gets dead here for about a month. So we're going to be on planes, trains, and automobiles all over the country, me and a couple of the staff members that we have right now. So it's going to be very busy in that regard. But I will tell you this, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start right here in our backyard. I'm going to see these high school coaches right here in this city and the guys in the surrounding areas, and I want them to understand that we're here for them, that this is their university, and that we're here to help them.
Hey, Coach, Kevin Romery from 6 News.
How you doing, Kevin?
How closely have you paid attention to KU the last couple of years, and at any point during the year did it start creeping into your mind that, hey, maybe Kansas was a destination for you?
Well, let me just say this. My philosophy has always been this, that it's hard to do a good job where you're at if your focus is somewhere else. So my focus is always exactly where I am at. But I will say this, one of the reasons that I get choked up is not just my family, but I have a love for this university. I have a love for the University of Kansas and for this football program. It matters to me what happens with this place. I have friends that were on this staff. I have friends that are in administration here. I have friends in this university, and it mattered to me. So to answer your question, I did my job where I was every day to the best of my ability. But when I had a free moment, I was watching to see how my Jayhawks were doing. All right, because it was important to me. Now, at no time did I ever think about this coming to fruition. See, I believe this, that opportunities, they're a byproduct of your hard work. I don't think that, or at least for me, I've never believed you talk your way into an opportunity. I think you work your way into it. So.
Sort of the same lines, I guess, but more of like the big picture for you personally. Did you think your timeline as a college head coach would kind of fall in line with what it's been right now? I mean, when you started out at high school or maybe made your first jump to a college assistant job, did you think by 44 you'd be right here right now, or is this sooner or later than you might have thought originally? Or did you think that way?
Well, it's always been a goal of mine to be a head coach at a major Division I university, but not just any major Division I university. My wife can tell you that I'm one of those guys that I really am who I say I am. It's about work, and opportunities come as a byproduct. So from my standpoint, I believe that my Lord and Savior opens the right doors at the right time, if that makes sense.
Kevin Haskin, Topeka Capital Journal. Hi, David. Can you kind of go through what the process will be with current players, how you meet with them, and how you maybe make appraisals of the talent you have that exists here right now?
Right, that's already started. I got to meet with those guys just the other day, it was an outstanding visit, and we started it in a different spot. We didn't come up here in this room. We went down in the weight room. And the reason we did that was because I wanted to send the message to our guys real quick about where we're going and how we're going to get there. And one of the big things for us was I wanted to make our guys understand that this is about them. And I wanted to make sure they understood the vision and how we're going to get there. And that's why we started where we did, right, Mike? Right, Jake? We started where we did because championships are won in weight rooms, on football fields, and in meeting rooms. They're not won with your mouth. We got to communicate, but we win by outworking folks and having a work ethic, none, and it starts there. So that's kind of where we're at. Now, what we will do over the coming weeks, and I talk to our guys, is I will start meeting with them not only individually, but as a unit and as a group. I think you find different things about those players in those different settings. As a group, you might find something about a guy. In just a unit, you might find something about a guy. And some of the things, and I talked to our guys about this the other day, some, if not all, I'm going to go see where they live because I learned a bunch about them and who they are by just walking into their place and how I can help them. How I can help them develop. We talked a little bit the other day about there's 3 areas of your life: academic, athletic, and social. And not one of those areas can effectively work if the other one is out of sync. It affects the other. So we're going to put a lot of emphasis on making sure that we balance those 3 areas: athletic, academic, and social, and not letting one of those get in the way because our time is very important and we have to do all 3 of those, and we got to do all 3 of them well. All 3 of them will. So that's going to be the message as we get going here and talking about really the platform work and earning everything we get. And we'll do that by, listen, I've got to build relationships with my players, all right? And I talked to them the other day. I made a commitment to our seniors. This season is about our seniors that are coming up. They deserve to have a great senior year. They deserve to do something special. And my commitment is to them. That's why we're going to work tirelessly to get that. And that's where we're headed, okay?
Hey, David. Jesse Newell from the Topeka Capital Journal. Shane talks about how your interview was capital I guess, with the it factor. Can you go into what maybe some of the preparation was for that and also maybe the main messages that you wanted to get across in that?
For me, the preparation was very simple. I'm kind of one of those guys that has to keep everything very, very tight. For me, it was very simple. I wanted to make sure that when I interviewed with the interview team and the committee, that they understood who I was and what I stood for. And as a result of that part was easy. When I stand up here and I speak before you, I want to make sure that what we say is what we do. And we talked about that when I was in the interview. And from that standpoint, the preparation obviously is something that you put time in. I will tell you this, there wasn't a whole lot of sleep because at that time, I was recruiting for another school, and like I told you before, we're trying to win, and I'm doing the best job I can for them. So it was obviously a challenge. I was very fortunate because I work for one of the greatest in the country in Kevin, who I would be remiss if I didn't thank him for what he did for us. But he gave me the time I needed to prepare for this.
You mentioned fast-paced, up-tempo offense. Why is that important in the Big 12, and how much will you draw from what you guys did at Texas A&M?
Well, I think that's a very good question. I like that question because the Big 12 has changed so much over just the last 7 years. It has transitioned from a league that used to be a run, play, action, pass league into a spread, no-huddle, up-tempo type style of offense, and the defenses have changed as well. You went from having really, really large fronts and linebacker areas of players to having a little bit longer and leaner, faster players. There's been an emphasis placed on speed in the Big 12. So that's something that I think having an understanding of what it's like now and the landscape of the Big 12, if you look at the programs that literally are being successful right now, speed is at a premium. And they're employing spread tactics. And what has had to happen is you've seen defenses go from bigger to longer, leaner, faster. And you've seen offenses to go from keeping things tight to spreading things out and creating space. So from that standpoint, In my opinion, that's done a couple different things. I was fortunate enough to be here on my first stint, and we were a spread offensive team. And when we did that, I'll tell you this, I was excited. And those stands were full every week. It was an exciting environment. It was a really, really good ticket to have. And the reason it is because it's fun. It's fun watching that ball go all over the yard. It's fun watching guys catch touchdown passes. It's fun watching Todd Reesing run around and sling that thing across his body for 75 yards and a touchdown and a post to Desmond Briscoe. That stuff, man, you talking about fun. That was fun. And it can happen like that. And I think that's one thing that has really drawn people to this is it's something that's exciting to watch. It really is. And then I'll be honest with you, defenses have caught up. This whole thing, it's really interesting. Early on, the offenses get an advantage, but boy, these men are smart, and they catch up. And I go back to Clint Bowen. Trying to plan against this dude was a nightmare because every time I had an edge, he found a way to find an edge. And that's kind of the chess game, and that's why I'm so happy to have him because he understands the landscape of the Big 12. He's been in it. He knows it, and we're excited about moving forward there. Does that answer your question?
Mick Schaefer, Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. David, one of the first things you mentioned was the walk-on program. I'm curious, why is that such a priority for you, and how would your program be different than standard, I guess, systems of bringing on walk-ons?
Well, I will say this. The first reason it's important for me is because as a head coach, one of my goals, if I ever got to this position, was that I have the understanding that there's only so many scholarships that you can give each year. And this is the state of Kansas University. This is theirs. And there's more than 25 kids in the state that want to play at their university. And while we can only give so many a scholarship to start, there's opportunity for all. And now here's the deal. That takes work, just like anything else. It starts with not only having a recruiting board, but having a Kansas recruiting board. And then being able to give people opportunities that are just outside that group of scholarship players. Listen, I'll tell you this. The margin between a scholarship player and a walk-on is razor thin. And sometimes you don't make the right decision. That's why you got to do a good job of evaluating and make sure you have a philosophy and trust in that. But that's the reason I think it's so important is to make sure that we give opportunities to those kids that want to come to their university to represent the Jayhawks. And here's the deal. Just because you didn't get one right at the beginning doesn't mean that you won't get one a year, 2, 3 years down the road. And once again, that falls right in line with our mantra of we will earn. Our guys will earn. And I think it's about the fabric of Kansas. It's hardworking, humble, earning people. And there's a lot of kids out there that are wanting that opportunity to earn that chance. And that's a way we can give it to them.
Right here, Coach.
Right.
You mentioned Coach Sumlin, and obviously your philosophy and what you're all about, I think, is very clear today. But I just wonder where that came from. I mean, was it him? Was it other guys that you worked for? Was it family? I mean, all those values that you've talked about today, where were those sort of formed?
Right. You've obviously seen today, I'm a passionate guy, and I get a little choked up in settings like this about people I care about, people that have done things for me. You probably won't see that much moving forward, but it's important that you see the passion from me today about those people. I appreciate the opportunities that people have given me because I've learned from a lot of really, really good men and women in my career. Starts with my mother, all the way down to Joe Martin at Garland High School. Ronnie Mullins gave me my first job at Naaman Forest High School. Kevin Sumlin, some of the ideas that I've gotten from him are things that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. There's a reason why he's where he's at and what he's doing with his career. The guy's, he's exemplary, and he gave my family an opportunity when we didn't have one. And it was an honor to be a part of his program. Not only him, Coach Mangino gave me an opportunity, and I learned a lot of unbelievable things from that man as well, having a lot of respect for him. All the men I've worked for, Turner Gill, David Bailiff is one of the finest men that you'll find in the country. What he's doing at Rice University is unbelievable, and he's the perfect fit there. He does a great job. All those guys are men that I've learned from, and I appreciate them, and they've helped shape who I am today. So like I said, I know that you've seen a little bit more passion for me maybe than you might see in the future, but it's important for me to make sure those people understand that I appreciate them. Yes, sir.
Coach, you're known as an outstanding recruiter. Could you give us some insights into your philosophy behind making the in-home.
They're going to walk away with a degree if they do what we ask them to do, take care of their business, and listen to us. They're going to walk away with a powerful degree that will give them income earning potential that they would not have otherwise, or they may not have otherwise. So when we make those promises, it's important that when we speak it, that we live it. And as a result of that, if you're not doing that, you're exposed over time. But when you are doing that, it reinforces who you are, and people talk. People talk. Now, listen, there's a lot better people out there than me, and I get that. That's why I'm trying to hire them. I'm not afraid of having better people around me. As a matter of fact, might not be very hard to do, but I'll tell you this, I'm going to go get the best folks in the country, and we're going to win together.
Any other questions?
Yes, Tom.
You mentioned degrees being important. How does Kansas's academic support team compare to, the average in college probably, and what's the appropriate relationship there?
Well, first of all, I would be remiss if I did not mention the academic support. Well, just the overall support that we have here at the University of Kansas is remarkable. I've been at a lot of places, and listen, no doubt about it. But if you saw what those academic people did 7 days a week, morning, noon, and night, let me tell you something. I couldn't do that job. They're better than I am. They're really good at what they do, and they really love those kids. They wear a lot more hats than just teaching them Algebra 2 or whatever it is that they're learning. They wear a lot more hats than that. Their mom, their dad, they're all kind of different things to those kids. And without them, we would have a hard time existing in college athletics. But I will tell you this, our staff here is second to none, and I'm excited about being a part of it.
Any other questions? Thank you, David.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for all being here today.
We will have Michael and Jake in the chancellor's office. Chancellor's room.
Let me know if I can